What the heck is going on, guys? Welcome to your 16th Photoshop tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to be covering some settings dealing with the magnetic lasso tool, some things we didn't cover in the last tutorial. But before we get to that, I want to ask you guys a favor, and that's this. Last night, me and my cousin right here, we went to a housewarming party for my parents, and they had some alcohol there, and we might have had a little bit too much to drink. And in the middle of the night, he tweeted me and one of my friends this COLLRHR. And I have no idea what it means. She has no idea what it means. He was wasted. He obviously doesn't know what he was trying to say, but it's bothering me. He was trying to say something when he was plastered. So I'm hoping that one of you guys out there can help interpret this for us. And if you guys know what he was trying to say, then please let us know because it's bugging me. But anyways, to the tutorial. Magnetic lasso tool settings, basically all this crap up here that we didn't get to in the last video. I want to cover what it means. So basically, in order for the magnetic lasso tool to work, what Photoshop does is it looks at the different contrast between certain objects, and that's how it gets a line. For example, a yellow post-it note against a black shirt or a black background. That's how it determines what the object is. Now, of course, these settings can be changed. So this contrast right here is pretty much how much change in brightness should I use to determine the edge of an object. So this is where you can mess with that. 90% is actually pretty good, so I'm going to keep that right there right now, but I just want to mention that because if you have an object that's I don't know, blends in with the background, you may want to change these settings a little bit. But for right now, 90%, that's pretty good. And the only other one is the frequency. The frequency right here is basically saying how often should I add anchor points. Now the anchor points are these little boxes that you can see whenever we start to drag around an image. So as you can see, it has about 4 anchor points on the left hand side, and I'll be going over more about anchor points later on, but for right now I just want to show you guys how to change the frequency or number of anchor points on the line. So if you want more, we can change this value anywhere from 1 to 100. Of course, if we bump it up to 100, then we can go ahead and just deselect this. Then when we start to drag, look how many frickin' anchor points this makes. Pretty much one every frickin' pixel. So, I don't know, probably somewhere like 40 or 35 is the ideal in most cases. But you guys are going to have different number of anchor points. Well, whenever we cover anchor points later on in paths, and especially the pen tool, you guys are going to get a better understanding of that. But for now, I just didn't want to skip over anything. Now, the only other things that I want to cover are pretty much just shortcuts for this. So let's go ahead and change this to, I don't know, 5 or something like that. And anytime you're working with one of these paths and you figure out, you know what, I need more anchor points, but I don't need them all over, just in certain locations. You can actually click your path to add anchor points manually. So see that I made 4 anchor points so far? Well, if I wanted another anchor point right here, I'll just hover my cursor over it and click. And as you can see, it adds anchor points manually. Pretty freaking sweet, huh? So that's how you add anchor points manually. And another cool trick is if you want to delete an anchor point, then all you have to do is hit the backspace on your keyboard. So see these 2 anchor points under her eyes? Keep your eye on them. I'm going to hit backspace, that one disappears. Backspace, the other one disappears. So again, whenever I'm dragging, let me make an anchor point. See the one closer to your eyebrow? Hit backspace, it disappears. Make it again, by your eye, backspace, disappears. Now the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is, again, a real quick shortcut, is if you ever want to switch temporarily to the free lasso tool, the first lasso tool I talked to you guys about, then all you need to do is hold Alt on your keyboard. So now I have Alt held in, and you can click and drag. So look at my path now. I'm now using the magnetic lasso tool, but I'm temporarily using it as a general lasso tool. So now I can release Alt, and I'm back to the magnetic lasso tool. So if you ever want to switch temporarily, that is how you do that. So now that you know about the contrast, which is basically how much change in brightness should Photoshop use to determine the path, and also the frequency, how often do you want to make those anchor points, and also all the other little shortcuts that I told you guys in this video. You guys are ready to move on to the next tool, which is the polygonal lasso tool. So we're going to be covering that in the next video. So please, again, hopefully someone you know what, even if you don't have an interpretation, just go ahead and guess. I want to see your guys' answers, and I don't know, maybe we can piece this together as a team. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.